say amen one more time. And now we have come to the moment that we have all been waiting for. We have had all of the appetizers, and now we are ready for the main course. We have sung our songs and prayed our prayers, but now we are ready for the main course. I have been looking forward to this day for the last 2 weeks. I can tell you that our speaker of the hour is indeed a man and a servant of God. I went home last week and listened to one of his tapes where he spoke at a conference in New York, and he turned it on. And it was so short, I said, Lord, I hope he talks a little while longer next week. The man that I'm talking about is Dr. Malik. He is a real shown-up doctor. You know, some of us call each other doctor and ain't got nothing to be called doctor for. But this is a real shown-up PhD doctor. But not only does he have an academic doctorate, he has been traveling across the nation and across the world, giving sight to the blind, opening up deaf ears, and calling the dead back to life. I can tell you that Dr. Rashadeen teaches at California State College, but that's not really important. I can tell you that he is the executive director of the Black Topographical Center here in Los Angeles, but that is not important. I can tell you that he is the national representative from Minister Louis Farrakhan, and that even in itself is not important. But what I can tell you that is of utmost importance today is that he is a God-led man. I can tell you that he is a Holy Spirit-filled man, for the Spirit fills you with power and with wisdom. Need to stop saying the Spirit just makes you shout. That's all it does for some of you. Make you shout and you're bigger just shouting devil. But he has been filled with the power of wisdom, the power of divine knowledge, and the power of righteousness. And so now I don't know about you, but I'm ready for the main course. Doesn't matter to me that he's a Muslim because he's God's man. And we serve one God whether you like it or not. Whether you call him Allah or you call him Jehovah. Whether you call him Allah or you call him Elohim. Whatever you call him, there's one God. And so this morning, at this hour, won't you stand and greet God's man, minister?
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I present to you
all of you to stand and give our brother a black.
Everyone knows who he is, the truth terrorist, the knowledge gangster, the lie killer, the urban gorilla, the black history hitman. Brothers and sisters, put your hands together and give a warm welcome, a black hand to Brother Brother Khallid Abdul Muhammad.
Minister and Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum. Hotep. Free the land. On the move. Shalom. What's up?
the Caucasian world, the enemies of righteousness, the murderers of prophets, the haters of truth, and lovers of other than truth, the great deceivers of the nations of the earth.
I bid farewell to the notion that we made it, cause I ever fell. You spinning bullets like a carousel, and terror mail lethal like anthrax to a knob's throat. Them pills got them wildin', stomach growling like pop smoke. When clowns get guns, it get harder to stop.
Don't you let no hook-nosed, bagel-eating, locks-eating, perpetrating a fraud.
Nothing to do with no Holy Quran. Ain't got nothing to do with no city called Mecca. He called you Muslim, righteous by nature, because before there was a Quran, you were righteous by nature. Before there was a holy city, Mecca, you were a Muslim and righteous by nature.
And our fathers to pull some collars back. Let's have a little chat before daughters scream where the dollars at. Let's talk about this here system and why we honored that. The hot sea streaming like God made all the sunners black. This used to be our playground. Y'all scared to say that Madonna.
We were lynched every day, in every way. Our singers, Billie Holiday used to sing about trees in the South with strange fruit, with blood at the root.
You're still a slave to the Democratic Party, still a slave to the Republican Party. You can't even see a Freedom Party. The first thing a slave must do is admit I'm in bondage, admit I'm in captivity, admit that I'm a slave and Giuliani is a slave master, admit that I'm a slave and Clinton is a slave master. You're a slave. You're a slave to your car note. You're a slave to your rent. You're a slave to your lease. You're a slave to your telephone bill. You're a slave to your light bill, your gas bill. You're a slave. I say I'm one of the rebellious slaves. I'm not a peaceful slave. I'm not a compromising slave.
I hand them roses when they tried to hand me stress. I'm not robbing juveniles, no I ain't a Manny Fresh. That's a joke, but I demand that we all learn to respect all the
Absolutely no mystery God. There is no God in the sky and there is no devil under the ground. Heaven is not in the sky and hell is not under the ground. Heaven and hell are conditions of the mind, states of existence and states of being. And so Jesus told us to stop looking for heaven in the sky. He said the kingdom of heaven is within you.
So, Mr. Donahue, I believe that the white man is absolutely disagreeable to live with in peace, and that no one has been able to get along with him nowhere on the face 196,940,000 square miles of the planet Earth.
Khalid Abdul Muhammad had finished his speech in Riverside, California, and headed outside to answer questions from the crowd when shots rang out.
Muhammad and 3 other people were shot. Some scrambled for safety. Others shouting he works for the Jews overpowered the gunman and beat him unconscious. Police then stepped in and dragged the suspect away, while Muhammad's supporters carried him to safety.
The baddest brother I've ever met. Dr. Khallid Muhammad was the man. Malcolm X times 25. He brought the thunder roar. He brought the funk. He brought the pain. Real, committed, consistent, brilliant, highly educated, fierce, bold, warrior, militant, but loving. He was the greatest.
This is Khalid Muhammad, former national representative of Minister Louis Farrakhan of the Nation of Islam. Mr. Muhammad is the man who made so many of the front pages of America's newspapers with a speech at Kean College, which so many people called anti-Semitic and a lot of things.
The so-called Jew Holocaust And I say so-called Jew because he's not a real Jew. He's a Johnny-come-lately Jew who just crawled out of the caves and hills of Europe just a few days ago.
And my collar's fearless.
So you're not even a real Jew, buddy.
Recent events surrounding the remarks by one of my ministers, Brother Khallid Abdul Muhammad, spoke at Keene College. Brother Khallid made remarks that were not consistent with the proper representation of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I therefore have dismissed Brother Khallid from his post as minister, representative, and national assistant.
Remember the comment? He picked up the Pope's dress, and let's see what's under that dress.
It's a metaphor. It's symbolic language. I'm not at all interested in what is under the Pope's clothes. I'm not into that. But it is a metaphor to say, let us expose the Pope. Quote, the Catholic Church and the Pope were directly involved in the institution of slavery. They financed slavery and gave the okay that it was good business to sell Africans. Lift up the skirts of his garment so that we can see the shame and reveal what has been hidden. But it has nothing to do with sexuality whatsoever. I'm one of the rebellious slaves. And so when black people stand up out of pain and suffering and frustration, I understand after 500 years.
Minister Khalid Abdul Muhammad made his transition to the ancestors.